of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to go over the minutes from the April 11th meeting? Or from the March 28th meeting? Any discrepancies, any changes, anything like that?
And you can approve them together if you would like.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of agenda items 2A and 2B, the meeting minutes from March 28th and April 11th.
Okay. Second for that?
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Roll call?
Member Cheney,
Aye.
Member Robertson,
Here.
Member Brophy,
Aye.
or Chair Brophy, and Member Duncan.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, Judy, it's time to give us the goods. Tell us what we got.
Thank you, Chairman Brophy. In front of you, I've put the Lodgers tax report ending April 30th of 2023, which is our 10th month in our fiscal period. And as you can see, Lodgers tax collected is at 2.3 million. So we are at 96% of our budgeted 2.4 million, so we will probably exceed it. Right now, year to date, and I know Lodgers taxes isn't due until this week, the 25th. However, we've already collected $52,000. If you look at it, we're still over the prior year. However, we're just under 1%, but we're still over. So what's amazing to know is that the increase in fiscal year 22 over 21 was at almost 40%, and we're still over that. So we're still growing. If you go to the second page, are just the expenditures that we've made throughout the year. And if you go to the second page, we have actually spent 2.4 million, and we have another 370,000 encumbered on POs. And then the ending cash balance, which is on the next page, in the bank is at 1.1 million. However, some of that money is already allocated to different projects. But what I wanted to remind everybody is that in fiscal year 24, we have budgeted, let's see how much, maybe I didn't get it. We had budgeted around 2.4 million again, and I believe we already have, do you recall the number, Carrie, what we had set aside for special events? Oh, here it is, 120,000. So remember that point, that amount is just a beginning point. We can always make changes later on as soon as the fiscal year started. However, council did approve the budget as is on Tuesday. So at this point, we won't make any more budget adjustments to fiscal year 24 until July. But we can always make them.
Okay. Any questions, guys? No? We're looking good? All right. Thank you, Judy, for all that you do for us.
You are welcome.
At least we're not broke this week, so that's exciting. All right, let's move on to, let's talk about the special event budget request for the fiscal year 2023 for the Ruidoso Tattoo Expo. Mr. Logan, would you like to come up and talk with us this morning, please? We'll just have you do, your 23 and 24, okay, buddy? Oh.
We're reprinting them with the Ruidoso logo on there, so making sure that we're following the guidelines. Good morning.
Chairman Brophy, before Logan goes, I just want to touch on the reason that we have an FY23 request is it was this, along with 3 others, were submitted to staff members who no longer work at the village. And so we were able to run this one down prior to the deadline because we happened to have a conversation about it.
Okay,
so that's why there's this one that is for FY23. And then for FY24, we have the other 3 that you guys will need to decide at the end of the meeting to schedule a special meeting so we can hear it. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, 4.
Okay.
There are 4 of them, and they were all in before, they were in like before the first of the year, basically.
Okay, so we'll schedule a special meeting for that.
Thank you.
Post. And then, Judy, are we already approved for the 5,000 requested on the 23 fiscal year budget?
No, I believe that's what. I'm sorry. I believe that's what he's here, is to explain what the money's for.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not currently in the budget.
Okay.
Cool. Good morning. I'm Logan Flaherty from Redoso Tattoo Expo, also from Scorpion Tattoos. We're going to be doing our second annual Redoso Tattoo Expo at the Convention Center. Last year went off really, really good. We had about 3,000 attendees, which we're looking to surpass this year, hopefully 4,000. We have live performances of all different kinds. We have live bands outside. We're doing 3 different acts inside. The outside event is one day, Saturday. It's a car show as well. And we have about 10 different car clubs that are just super happy to come back and join us again. We're also in the process of 80 artists. We're bringing in all kinds of artists, world-renowned artists from all over the world. So as far as heads and beds, we're bringing in families, and we're upping the artist count from last year. Last year we only had 60 booths for the artists. This year we went to 80. So we're going to have a lot more artists for the actual attendees, because last year we sold out. Every single artist was booked by Saturday. So we realized, well, we can push our numbers a little bit. So we're trying to accommodate all of Redoso, and with piercers, we have a bunch of different vendors inside as well as outside. Our live bands outside, and then we have some fun bouncy houses for kids. So overall, the event's very well planned. We're advertising with 3 different billboards this year. Last year we only did 1, so we went to 3. Our areas are, one is in Albuquerque, one is in town. I know we like to search out of town, but we went ahead to promote to our locals as well. And then one is in Alamo on our way back from the base. Because
Nice.
last year we didn't really grab any of the Army guys down there, so we want to promote to them as well. We're looking to have, I would hope, up to 3,500 this year, maybe surpassing that. As far as our marketing, we're looking to about 60,000 for our event, so we're well over what we are requesting today. Is just your, I believe that we asked for 5,000 as our cap level for this 23 year. And do I need to explain for 24, or am I waiting on that as well?
I mean, I guess you could go ahead and roll.
What's
You-
different?
Yeah, you can, yeah, what's going to be different between this year and next year, Logan?
We're going to be on the same platform, so we just want to run it, obviously more advertisement. We're looking to get bigger acts, as well as maybe even a stage. We've been looking into doing a musical performance outside that's a little bit better. We spent $3,000 on some new tents, because last year we had a rain issue that really destroyed the band setup. Everybody was that was playing in the bands was really rained out. They had a flood, so this year we've spent good money on the tents. We bought our own pipes and drapes so that we can be our own facilitator for everything. So it's really working out good.
Exciting. So we expect even more growth for the 24 year after the 23 year.
100%. I believe we're going to try and go to 99 artists, just because I like that number.
Okay.
99 would be the one to go. And as far as growth, that's all we're trying to do is promote and push a really good show. I've gone to 6 different shows this year alone, and the response is undeniable. They're saying we have the best show that they've ever been to.
Yeah.
The best trophies, the best workers, our trash and activities. We haven't really worked ourselves into using a bar yet, because we're kind of keeping it a family-oriented event. Maybe next year we could work into having security, and if we have the funds for that, that's where we're gonna head, so that we can promote a little bit better for certain things like that. Maybe even an inside act, as well as for music performance as well. So we're looking at different types of bands that we can hire that are within our budget, and move forward with that.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Now you said all the good stuff, right? Now we turn the recording on.
Yeah, that's good.
Mr. Chairman, Logan, a couple questions. So you had 20, I'm looking at the 24 request.
Yes, sir.
Where you had last year numbers, which I guess is this year, but either way, it says 2,500 in attendance from last year, but you said 3,000.
We had close to 3,000, so it was a little over 25. Estimated our ticket sales, I think we're at 26, so I put 25, so we're close to reaching our goal of 3,000.
Okay.
And this year, we should get definitely over that with the word of mouth and what we're,
The extra billboards, everything,
yes,
right?
totally.
Is this the same weekend as Brudoso?
Yes, sir.
So how are you working with them? I know y'all
We've been
did some
teaming
things
up
last year.
as, last year we teamed up and we did advertisement on both sides so that if you had a ticket here, you could go over there and get $5 off or something to collaborate with that. Kendra is definitely working with us to, we're not doing billboard promotions or paper promotions like we did last year, but we're still trying to do we have our own transit system because we want people over there not to drink and drive. So we're offering them free rides over and free rides back as we did last year. We, out of our pocket, we hired a shuttle and we tried to get Ruidoso to do one of the green buses, but as we were so busy on that weekend, we ended up doing it ourselves, hiring a driver, and the guy took quite a few number of people back and forth.
You guys
which
ran
was
that
nice.
shuttle every 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, 20 minutes, and we
Yeah,
have two
almost
different
all day.
transit spots, so that way we can get the people over to the music venue, and they can jam out, and then come back and see whoever their family member's getting tattooed. We're totally accommodating for everything like that, so.
It was quite a cohesive event, I think.
That's our goal. We want everybody to work together and promote our town. We're doing so good with it, so I'd like it to continue. We've locked in the convention center for the next 5 years, so our goal is to make this into a very annual thing to where we can produce the best show on planet right here.
Mr. Chairman, forgive my ignorance on this,
Not
but
at all.
do you have competition in New Mexico on something like this?
Yes, there's one in Albuquerque at Isleta. We have one in Carlsbad. We have one in Las Cruces. As far as I know, they cannot compete with what we're putting out. We have a really good team, and our art competition as well. We're bringing in all of the artists, local artists. I went to the schools 2 days ago and got all the art programs in with the kids here at the college, the high school, and also the mid school, and also Mescalero. So promoting an art competition that is free for people to come sell their art, promote themselves, and we're doing a lot of different things that other shows don't do. So we're trying to make it as beneficial for the artists around here as we possibly can.
Does somebody go visit these other ones? Are they on different weekends, I
Yes,
assume?
so it's always scheduled on a weekend. It's a 3-day event normally, and I travel all over. I've just went to Oklahoma 2 weeks ago, and their event was okay, but it makes me really proud of what we're putting on, so,
That's great.
yes,
Little known fact, these tattoo artists have attention to detail.
yes. Big time.
And the trophies are great. And I was in attendance last year. I went and hung out and walked around and saw the event, and these guys did a great job last year.
Yeah, it's really cool to
excited
see
for
the artists that come here enjoy our town too, because a lot of them are like, we're coming back, because it's just impossible to not love it here. It's so beautiful.
Mr. Chairman, Logan, I want to commend y'all. Y'all do a great job on this
Thank you,
event.
Lori.
You really, really do. You've put down $1,000 for social media advertising. How do you allocate those monies?
So what we do is, we do Facebook outreach, Instagram outreach, and their boost posts. So we demograph a certain area of where we're searching for. Phoenix is a good area. We search in Texas. We're hitting all these different areas. So we'll geospot an actual area and then boost post for $20, and we just keep hitting it. And so each post that we do allocates for the 1,000 that we're going to put into it.
All right, thanks.
Yes.
I don't think I have any more questions or anything. All right, let's look for a motion to approve. Let's go ahead and look for a motion to approve the 2023 and the 2024 for these guys.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve both the 2023, 2024 tattoo
as well.
program.
All right, let's look for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You guys are awesome.
Roll
Thank
call.
you very much.
Thank you, Logan. We wish you guys the best of luck and
Back at
keep
you.
growing and keep going.
Oh, back at you.
All right.
We're gonna turn this town around.
Hey. Good morning, Mr. Ingram.
Good morning. I was told by one of our 3 viewers that this mic is not on. She can't hear. I don't know if we need to turn it on.
It is now. I think.
Okay. Got it. Thanks, Matt.
I gotta make sure I get that exposure, guys.
We agree.
And also, just a reminder that we're keeping everyone to 5 minutes per event. So Mira's keeping time, and she'll give you guys a 2-minute warning.
Okay. Do we want to wrap all of Mr. Ingram's events into one motion here, guys?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome. My name is Matt Ingram. I'm here with the Ruidoso Downs Racetrack. Thank you, Chair and members, for having me today, presenting on several of our summer concert series that we have going on through the summer down here at Ruidoso Downs Racetrack. These are actually 3 of 15 events that I'll be throwing over the course of the summer, all going to be highlighting and showcasing a wide variety of music. So we'll have for summer concert series number 9 here, we're going to be doing Friday and Saturday night shows. Friday night will be a free show, so the community is welcome to come out. And then our Saturday shows will have an average price of about $55 for a general admission ticket. And then they can come in and kind of see our headlining band. So the weekend of July 21st and July 22nd, we have La Alianza Norteña and Randall King coming in. So we will have definitely figured everything out by this juncture, but we're just looking for a $3,000 contribution on that one. Really, across the board, our social media marketing, print material, all that stuff is handled by R&P Marketing, our marketing agency out of Louisiana. So I work with them directly. Like each one of our contracts with Lodgers Tax will have a direct spend behind it. So making sure I hit all of those requirements, pretty much social media, print media. I know that security detail and sanitation expense can be in there, but really with us, we will use the money to just specifically use for marketing outside of Lincoln County in an 80-mile radius, so past an 80-mile radius. So again, July 7th and 8th, we have Van Halen, a tribute band. And man, we got some good ones coming in for this summer. So Van Halen will be our free night, and then the Eli Young Band on July 8th. I think I kind of jumped around here. I'm just going off of this. Summer concert series number 10 is going to be a AC/DC tribute band called Bonfire. And then our Saturday headlining show is going to be War. So we're looking forward to bringing these guys in. I mean, we have a wide list. Pat Green's coming down. We got a couple other big names, Eli Young, Easton Corbin. We have Casey Donahue this weekend. So looking at creating a cool event down there. The racetrack will handle pretty much everything. We're not having any vendors, kind of doing a little kind of a operations change, I would say. So we'll just be more into the facilitation. So other than that, I just kind of stand for any questions.
Matt, how are you going to run advertisement for all of these locals to promote these free show nights for us local guys? and
Yeah,
gals?
I think it's, we'll use the social media platform primarily. You know, those we're running, I mean, just weekly social platforms pushing all of our music. So Friday and Saturday nights will be showcased on that. We're using social, Instagram. I'm really pushing for the TikTok platform and getting that going. We've just kind of redone a mix down there. The sports bar has gotten a big facelift. Actually, Logan and them did a big mural down there, opened up some windows, and then we'll have our 440 barbecue restaurant on the finish line right there. So we are trying to switch it up and kind of create a little bit more of an experience down there. And I think that we can kind of showcase Ruidoso Downs a little better. But social media marketing is going to be our strong suit. We will have digital billboard runs, and we can put that in there. But I think our bang for our buck, especially, you know, at $3,000, will probably primarily be social.
Mr. Chairman, hey, Matt. So a couple questions. You don't have any numbers in here from prior years. Obviously, these are, different concerts and such, but what do you guys generally see on ticket sales? Because y'all have done this for a long time.
Well, under this specific method, these are new events. So coming up with those analytics, it really hasn't been proven. This year we'll do so with just tracking our ticket sales, door wristbands, that type of stuff. But as we get these going, our max capacity at the event is going to be about 2,000 people for us to give a quality experience and a safe service, but we could fit about 2,500 people in there. 2,000 people, I think, is going to be a max deal down there. So I would imagine that we'll see about 3,000 people, on a weekend down there. The free events, we're going to be open from 5 to, about 9, 10 o'clock. So I think that we'll see a wide variety of people going over from the track into the event.
So like the summer concert series or whatever, types of things that were a little different in prior years, do you have any feel for what kind of attendance or ticket sales you had at those?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. We have gone with a little bit different of a music genre, really to create, kind of cater to our dynamic clientele that we have coming to Ruidoso. So we have a lot of this regional Mexican music, the norteños or the cumbias music coming in. So you can see that we're really trying to diversify, that we're not just doing, just country or rock and roll. Maybe we can cater to a different clientele and see if we can't drive that. I think you'll see it too with just at the Anejo Cantina, which is the new sports bar, that flavor and that, the Latin vibe down there. And so I'm excited to see and just see if we can't cater to a different demographic. We get so many people down there, on these busy weekends. You have 14,000 people down there. How can you adequately serve 14,000 people when you're set up to serve 8,000 people? So we run into these capacity issues on these major weekends. We're looking at trying to spread it out over the course of the summer a little bit better. So we're having some pretty serious talks down there at how we can do safe events, quality experiences. So I think that we're trying to shake things up a little bit down there at the track moving forward and making it just a little bit, a better experience for everybody involved.
Very cool.
So, and, my gut tells me this is, obviously high impact, a lot of leverage for us on spending the dollars. But at the end of the day, I really want to see the number and know, 80% out of town. Where'd that come from? Is that, you guys, it's going to be hard to track, I guess.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But most of our targeted marketing in advertisement is not here in Ruidoso. We're targeting outside. So on our Facebook analytics, that's why it's easy for me to prove my Facebook spends to you guys because, hey, here's my targeted market, Odessa, Midland, Roswell. We can target those markets and those spends are going direct to those communities. I love Facebook for that. But on print, absolutely. How can you track this? Especially I could do a mailer. I could do a text campaign for you guys. But really, we're looking for our bang for our buck. And then, two, it shows the analytics. This is the bang that, this is how much viewers we got. And then this correlated to X amount of ticket sales. So I look forward to proving this because I'm right there with you as well. But keeping these detailed analytics and coming to you guys, it's so I can get my money.
Yeah, if you could just get your results on ticket sales to carry, because they're going to have a few events before probably our next meeting.
Sure.
And the more we learn, the better. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I was out at these concerts last year, and they were a great event. Y'all did a really, really good job, and they were packed. There was a lot of people in those concerts. So kudos to y'all. We get a lot of people at the hotel. People just coming for the concerts, that stay at the hotel just for the concerts. I know I'm down that way a little bit, but we get a lot of people just coming for these, so.
And we'll try to work with as many local, lodging establishments down there. As soon as we get some money here, we'd love to, just create a link, get some traffic to you guys across the board. I have anywhere from about 10 rooms just for my production team and my music guys coming in each weekend. That stuff will stack up and add up, so we love to send it out to our local lodging establishments.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the budget requests under agenda item 5, B, C, and D for the racetrack and their concert series as presented.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Roll call?
Member Cheney,
Aye.
Member Robertson,
Aye.
Chair Brophy,
Aye.
and Member Duncan.
Aye.
Thank you so much, Matt. We wish you the best of luck out there this summer. Keep doing great things, buddy. All right, let's move down to item number 5 and agenda item E. Let's go Ruidoso Trail Runs. Good morning, good morning. Well, as long as I get a sticker, we're good.
Sell you mine.
That's it, that's all I needed. Yes, thanks.
So good morning. Thanks for having me. First, let me correct on this. I took over the event from Frederick. So when he told me about the lodger's tax, this is my first time.
And what's your name, sir?
I'm sorry, Shane Asbury.
Hi,
with
Shane.
Wanderlust Running. Sorry about that.
Nice to meet you.
But when he sent me I took over the event from him back in November, December. And when he sent me the lodger's tax info, I combined Lincoln County to this, so that's why the number's so big.
Okay.
So that, when you see that number, so we're applying for 5,000.
Okay.
Just to make that correction. You'll see in my budget, though, it's.
You know we were gonna razz
definitely
you for that, right?
Exceeded that. So I'm sure, yeah. So just a bit about myself before I get into the event. I took over the event from Frederick. He's had this event for 9 years. My background is I do this for a living, so I put on events. I took over the Tucson Marathon in 2019. I grew that event from 1,200 to over 1,600 to over 2,000 within 3 years after COVID. I worked with Visit Tucson. So I'm all about heads and beds. I work with Visit Tucson. They actually pay for me to go to 3 expos a year, rock and roll expos to hand out. I'm an ambassador for Visit Tucson, so I can talk the lingo about what goes on in the city. I was then contacted by Las Cruces to do a marathon for their city. I work with Visit Las Cruces. First year event was last year, State 47 Marathon. I brought in 47 different states were represented at that for the first annual. We had almost 600 participants. So I had to cut it off actually because 2 weeks prior I was out of swag. So my background is actually marketing. So this is what I do for a living. And when I take over events, I usually grow them immediately because I do grassroots marketing. As you can see with the flyers, I go to events, I travel to expos. So I promote the city, I've been coming to Ruidoso since 1999. I've had a place here. I used to live in Dallas, and we get away for the summer. So I live up off of Granite. So I've been coming here since 99. I've ran all the trails. I know this area very well, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to have this event, actually, because I've only had a reason to come here to hang out for myself, and now I actually am involved in the city more. I'm getting to know more people in the city, so I'm very excited about promoting what's going on here in Ruidoso. I've seen a huge, the last 3 years since COVID, the growth. So I feel this event has a lot of legs to it, literally. I've been promoting it. I was at the White Sands event. They had 7,000 participants, and I was giving out the flyers. I've already been to El Paso. I've been to Denver, and I'm going to a expo in Dallas and Austin, Texas for a couple of events there. Then for local trail events, I'm out handing out the flyers. So the event is August 26th. August 26th, with the expo being held at the Elegante on the 25th. We have a special room rate for our participants. This event's brought in about 3 to 4 states average. A lot of the folks come from El Paso, Las Cruces, Albuquerque, a few people from Colorado. So I'm really trying to grow this event with my database. With the events I have over 20,000 people with all the events I have that I market to. So that includes 50 states and 6 countries right now. So my plan is to hopefully grow this event twofold. By next year, I am rebranding the new logo there. I just had that created. So I'm starting a rebrand. The registration was already open back in November, I think. So I haven't really changed anything on the website. So next year, I plan to do a rebrand, plan to do more swag to entice people to get to come to the city here. And then I'm working with the hotel. We're also going to have, with our awards, we do first, second, third, we do the custom bears. And I'm going to hopefully be able to try and get them out to actually do the carving there on site. If
that's fun.
It's possible. So I'm just trying to do some creative ideas that hadn't been done before. Frederick did a great job with this event, having over 300 average participants for it. But my goal is to hopefully have 500 by next year.
Okay. You think the rebranding will help that?
I don't think it's the rebranding. I think it's the new market I'm hitting because of the folks from Arizona. I think there's a lot more opportunity to bring folks from Arizona, promoting that it's only, I drive from Scottsdale. It's a 9-hour drive. From Dallas, it's a 9-hour drive. It's 7.5, 8 hours from
Yeah,
from
it's
Austin.
like 6.5 from here. or something like
And then Denver, it's an easy drive. So I was at the Marathon up there at Expo, and I was handing out flyers.
Okay. So you're physically beating the streets, so to speak?
Yeah,
and handing out
grassroots
flyers
marketing,
in
guerrilla
person?
marketing, and then I go to, I'll be at Cloudcroft on June 3rd. I'm cross-promo them if they do both events. I'm trying to work with the local, with the Ruidoso Marathon as well to cross-promo with them. So my goal is to really focus on this event and grow it for next year.
Mr. Chairman? So this is the 9th annual, is that what you
This
said?
will be the 9th year of it.
Okay, so the previous 8 years, were they just no growth, is 300 participants year over year?
It's been an average about 330
Right,
participants.
so there was really no guerrilla marketing going on through those first 8 years. This is what I like about your presentation. It's a very good presentation. And those are the things we have to have happen to get it to grow, for sure.
Frederick did a good job. There's no doubt he's done a great job locally with where he's got it today. But as far as growing events, what I found is you got to get out there and you literally have to beat the streets. Social media, I do social media. I do an email campaign. I've got a newsletter I do from Wanderlust. And I think just with the overall folks that I've got in my database, I think that really will help bring in more folks because they come to my events currently now. I do local 5Ks in Arizona and then also in Las Cruces there.
Good. Any analytical data from years past? I don't think that's really going to help us from this point forward, but maybe like a good base point to start with, anything like that? I mean, we know it's 330 participants on average every single year. Puts the same amount of heads and beds every year, I'm assuming.
Yes, that's what I talked to the hotel there, and they average about 30 to 40 rooms, she said.
Okay.
And that's just the folks that, actually, that's one of the things I talked to them about is actually tracking it and asking those questions. That's what I did in Las Cruces is I had 2 host hotels, and I actually went to every hotel, and I had a survey and said the week before the event and said, please ask this question and just check mark if this person is here. Because the hotels, people are rewards members, and so you never know if they've booked through a third party. So you don't know if that person is actually booked with the code that I provide them to get the discount. So I go to the hotels and have the managers at least tape something up front and ask, are you specifically here for the State 47 Marathon? So that's what I hope to do here as well, is to get them kind of more trained. Because I think, she's just going by the special code that we have.
How do you plan on primarily using the lodger's tax money if awarded today?
I plan to use it for my travels for the events, combining it with what I'm already getting from Tucson and Las Cruces to be able to hit more events, to be able to grow and expand my market, actually.
Okay.
Because the travel does, driving, and most of the time I do drive, and the lodging, and then, of course, the printing of the flyers I use. Because
Flyers,
I do the
stickers, stuff like
flyers
that.
combined, but I also do individual flyers that I take depending on the area or the region I'm in.
Okay. Have you been in contact with the agency or anything like that as far as, the guidelines and stuff for the money? Like how to use the monies correctly?
No, sir.
Okay.
And I will say that he applied before the new application was live, so he's on the old application. That's why it looks different. But I have directed him, when we have talked, I've told him to reference the page for how you can spend monies and the logo requirements.
Sweet. Very good. Your webpage is great on your QR scan code as well. Super informative, easy to sign up, great information, maps, trails, hard to get lost. So you've obviously spent a good amount of diligence per creating that. What do you think, gang? Look for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, Shane, great job with your enthusiasm and hoping to build this thing up. Mr. Chairman, I've got a little heartburn with just the numbers, I think, we're talking about 300 folks on an event like this and for $5,000. I think I'd be more comfortable at 3, but that's just me. I'd be interested to see what you guys think.
Mr. Chairman, I know where you're coming from there, but this is why I asked. Previous years, it was kind of like a dead event, in a sense. I mean, people came that really had an interest in it. I liked your presentation, and I did like your enthusiasm, because if we're going to grow an event, this is what this money's for, is to grow an event. We want to see growth year over year, and it would, I'm not opposed to the money he's asking for if we can, and hopefully we do see great growth year over year moving forward, because that's all we rely on, is looking at past numbers, what are expectations, and if we see that, it makes our job really easy.
Could I say, I think Frederick's gotten, if I'm not mistaken, like 4,500 to 4,800. So, this is my first time. So again, 12.5 was very unrealistic, and I combined. So I appreciate where you're coming from, but I just wanted to mention that as well. I think that's what he's got in the past.
Mr. Chairman, last year he was awarded $4,500.
Okay. Well, you have any thoughts, Laura?
You are planning on trying to do this. You said yours coming up and all that to keep growing and keep doing this, correct? This isn't just a one-year deal.
Oh, for sure. I plan on doing the 10th, blowing it out for the 10th year. That's why I think next year could be so huge, because when I took over I've already got a plan ahead, for the 10-year. When I took over the Tucson Marathon, I was already thinking about the 50th running, and that's when I had 2,400 folks come out after I took over in 19, where there was only 1,200 and 500. 1,250 participants.
I see no problem with the 5,000 if we can just, like you said, see the analytical data that the event's growing, this year to next year, when you're coming up for the next year to ask for the money, that we've seen, what you did work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I'm okay with that too. Even though it's a 9-year running event, you're kind of taking over the event. And, you're not technically responsible for years past and stuff like that. So you do have a great opportunity to grow something and make it great. So I will definitely entertain a motion to approve the full 5,000 for this year. And then obviously, please get with the agency after this and, make sure that you are aware of how the money can be allocated to further your event, okay?
Yes, sir.
I make motion to approve agenda item 5E for $5,000 for Grindstone Trail Runs.
Okay, I will look for a second, please.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Okay,
Motion passes 3-1.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck with your event. We can't
Appreciate
wait
it.
to see you next year and, providing us with all that great data showing the event grew tremendously. Okay, thank you. All right. Let's move on down the line. Agenda number 5. Item F, the Ruidoso Art Festival.
Mr. Chairman, Deb texted me and said she's unable to be here
Okay.
for hers.
Well,
I would say that you just postpone that to another meeting.
we have to have a special meeting anyway, don't we, for those 4 applications? So can we go ahead and get a motion to move this?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we table the request for the Ruidoso Arts Festival and, what was the other chamber event, Vines in the Pines? Both of those items. Which
There's
would
one
be-
more, and Aspen Fest. Vines in the Pines, Aspen Fest, and Art Festival.
So items 5F, 5L, and 5M. My motion is to table those until our next meeting.
Entertain a second.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We need a roll call on that one?
Sir.
Okay.
That's how you get through an agenda.
Bam. All right, let's move on down the line. Agenda item 5G, let's talk to the people from Oso Productions, please. Good morning, Sydney.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't know if y'all can hear us. My name is Cindy Mowry. This is Scott Fitzgibbons. He is on the board with me at Oso Productions. Ours is a little different. We are asking for the $5,000 for our complete season. Our complete season consists of 4 productions throughout this next fiscal year. We only did 2 productions last year. We are a brand-new company. We're starting up nonprofit theater organization. I do have the analytics for those. Last June, we did a production of Greater Tuna at Wingfield Park. We had about, we just did 2 showings. We had about 350 participants, 75% of which were out of New Mexico.
Okay.
It was, our second production was mid-February, so it was definitely in the shoulder season. We had 6 showings of that one with about 300 as well, or about 250 as well, and that one was only about 50% out of the state. And we do have, and that is just for our pre-sale numbers. The software we use, I could get the analytics for just our pre-sale tickets. Our at-the-door tickets, I wasn't really able to track that, but we're still able with the pre-sales to kind of target our marketing a little better. Which, with those 2, we did not, the only marketing we did was flyers. We, like I said, very new company, very limited funds. So that was no social, other than just organic social media, no paid platforms, nothing of that sense. And we were still able to, I'd say, a pretty successful event for our first year. Moving into this next season, we'll be doing Red, White, and Tuna, which is another similar production. It kind of is a spoof on small towns in Texas. So nailing our summer demographic with that, it was a great success. So we're going to be doing 2 weekends of that. So we'll be doubling our performances. In July, we will be partnering with the Friends of Historic Lincoln and the state of New Mexico to do a living history walk in it's called Lincoln After Dark. It will be tour of all of the grisly murders that have happened in historic Lincoln. So we will be doing that for a weekend.
Just some super creepy stuff, huh?
It's going to be fun. There's some interesting things that happened out there. So, and then in October, we're going to be partnering with Downshift, their new location. We're going to be doing a screening of Rocky Horror Picture Show. So we'll be having that for 2 nights. And then ending up the season, instead of doing a February show, we are going to be kind of doing it more that Christmas time just to give more things for people to do. We're going to be doing a production called A Sherlock Carol, and it's a mix of Sherlock Holmes and A Christmas Carol. It's kind of a newer, it's a fun, family-friendly, feel-good production for Christmas. So within that 5,000 is going to be for all 4 of those productions, including our social media marketing, printed flyers. We are going to be trying to go out to the Shakespeare Convention in Albuquerque this summer to advertise. I guess that is kind of my summary. We'll stand for questions.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Sydney, you went from 600 to 1,400 in attendance. That's your target, is that right?
Yeah, well, for the Greater Tuna, we're doubling our weekends.
Okay.
We're going to be, instead of 3 productions, we'll be doing 6 productions. So hopefully that will bring a little more, and with added advertising, that's not just flyers. We'll be able to target, for that production, we had, like I said, 75%. We had the majority of Texas and Arizona. That production fits well with like the Lubbock, El Paso crowd. The Lubbock Midland crowd, I apologize. So we'll be able to do some social media targeting to that area.
Okay.
So each production targets a different group.
Carrie, is this projected economic impact report that I'm looking at accounting for all 4 of the, okay, cool. Thank you. Sydney, what character do you play? Sorry, important questions
Our
for me.
auditions are June 3rd for Rocky Horror Picture Show. So if anybody wants to come out,
For tuna.
sorry, Greater Tuna. Greater Tuna, either or, just, we're looking for a Frankenfurter too, so. But we are trying to just grow that local arts in this community.
Cool. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Sydney, how will you be tracking ticket sales at the door this year?
We're actually using a different program. Last year, we used a combination of Square and Eventbrite, so I was not able, like I said, to get the post pre-sale tickets. We will be using a software called Hold My Ticket, so it will be all on the same platform. Hopefully, we'll be able to track more of the at-the-door sales that way.
Yeah, so you'll know who comes in the door, who got pre-sale tickets, so on and so forth. So that's going to give us great data for next year, right?
Yes. Like I said, the analytics I have now are just those pre-sale numbers.
Very cool. I don't know, I think performing arts is a great thing for the community. So, excited.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item 5G as presented.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
We're excited.
I'll see y'all at auditions.
Red, white, and tuna, huh? Okay. All right. Agenda item 5H, the Alto Artists Tour. Good morning, ladies.
This is Lynn Eggman, and I'm Sally Wimberly. We're both officers for the Alto Artist Tour. Lynn is passing out our advertising that we have started on, and on the back side of it, you turn it over, there's also more, and then there's also our written in handwriting is our brochure, because we just got it last night of what our brochure costs are for this year. And then the proposed budget for our tour. This is our 20th year for the Alto Artist Tour, although we didn't have 2020, so it'd be the 19th year, as you'll see on Facebook, and the different things that are around. But every year, our goal is to draw people from outside Lincoln County and the state of New Mexico to the area, and Texas as well, of course, allowing them to experience the magic of our unique location. This year's attendees will have the opportunity to visit 13 sites and 23 artists. And 23 artists is one of our largest amount of artists that we've had in the past. By bringing in outsiders, locals with visiting guests, and others, the Alto Artist Tour creates awareness to our pristine area while increasing revenue for local hotels, RV parks, bed and breakfast, restaurants, realtors, stores, and shops. The tour also introduces people to the many extremely talented local artists who in turn sell their work. All of these people generate increased tax revenues benefiting all residents of Lincoln County. We measure our attendance by our participant questionnaire. From the questionnaire, we will determine how they heard about the show, where they are from, and where they are staying. And this data helps us to determine the attendance numbers and allow us to focus on where and how to advertise in the future. We do order 15,000 brochures. All of us artists pass them out to all of the places in Ruidoso, Capitan, Cloudcroft, Carrizozo, Alamogordo, Las Cruces, including the Chamber of Commerce's, of course. And then we also, the biggest thing for us too, besides the Chamber of Commerce, is for those brochures to go in the Southwest Distributing, which is the RAC. That's what, here, it's 2 counties, and it's the racks that you see, like at Schlotzsky's, and our brochures are in those. And we also take hundreds of them to the Hummingbird Cabins, Condotel, and they put them in their rooms all throughout the month, because we have to wait till after Art Loop is over to pass out our brochures, because we don't want to get that confused for people. So that's over the 2nd of July, so we will start passing our brochures July 3rd. I'm sorry? You have 2 minutes. Okay. And so we're asking for $3,000 to be used for the advertising and for the brochures. We also have posters made, and we do Facebook. It's a large Facebook presence. We're not asking for any money for that, but we do ads for all the artists and all of our wonderful sponsors that we have throughout all the artists get sponsors to sponsor them. And I don't know, are there any questions?
I think I have a couple, Sally. Sally, so you're saying that this would be the 20th, but it's actually the 19th year of operation. How long have both of you been in charge of the operation of this event?
I've been in the event since this is probably my 15th year.
Okay, so quite a
And
bit.
Lynn is probably 7,
Okay. Do you have any analytical data or anything from years past as far as attendance, stuff like that? Am I looking at any of that on these documents or anything?
Excuse me. One of the things that we realized that this organization was doing that was wrong was that they had surveys for people to fill out if they wanted to. So we kind of took a page out of Lincoln County Art Loop Tour and required each artist to give away a piece of their artwork. So in order to be in the drawing to get that artwork, you have to fill this survey out in full. And if it's not in full, you don't get, it gets thrown away. We use it for our mailing list. We can compile our mailing list out of that. But most importantly, people like to win something. And it gives them incentive to fill it out. So we've had much better stats of what's going on in the last 2 years.
Okay. Are we looking at any of that data from your stats for the last couple of years? Is that in here? Okay. Can you direct me to where I'm going to see growth? Is that going to be on this first line, the income, silent auction, advertising, newspaper?
Isn't it in here?
Oh, but you didn't pass this part out. Yes, last year, the data was 60% was out-of-town visitors, 40% was local, meaning other towns in New Mexico. And that right there?
As far as other states go, our biggest one is Texas.
Okay.
And then,
And that was 42%.
yeah, and then
42%
From Texas.
Texas.
Mhm.
We love those numbers, gang. So do we have anything that would indicate growth per year? Like, are you tracking more participants coming to the event, so on and so forth? And what do those numbers look like?
Every year that the questionnaire that we have them fill out has grown. Last year was the first year we tried that with the
great.
them signing up for the prize that they could win if they filled it out. And there was only $450 people that we were able to do, to track on that. But because so many of them fill them out at all the different places, they'll fill it out, and then we have to toss those away because they're multiple, it's
Sure.
the same people.
Yeah, it's the same
So,
person.
I think we've learned a lot of lessons. I don't think the tour was run very efficiently in the first few years. It was kind of a real local kind of alto event. And although that's still our title, we're really trying to spread it out. And in the last 2 years, it's really grown. It's different than it used to be.
And we did ask for 3,000 last year. That was on that, I don't know what your format is. Is it the same as last year with the, with what you did with the advertising that y'all did through?
No, it's different this year,
Oh, okay.
so.
Yeah, make sure you review those documents. It's a lot more areas that you can use or allocate that money to now,
Right.
so.
Okay.
I don't have any more questions to you guys. No? We feel good? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the item 5H as presented, the Alto Artist Tour.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank
Good
you
luck
very
this
much
year.
to
Keep
all of
growing and
you.
keep going, okay?
Okay.
Thank you
All right,
very
and
much.
bring us those numbers next year. We want to see that growth for you guys, okay? Okay,
You
cool.
guys come out.
Okay.
We have a Spencer Theater preview party on that Thursday before this event starts, August 3rd. Wonderful.
Very cool.
How beautiful the Spencer Theater is.
We definitely know that.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. All right, let's move on down the list here. Agenda item 5I, Downshift Brewing Company.
Mr. Chairman, I received a text from Jamie, and he is stuck putting in the new sound system at their new location. So if you want to table that as well to the,
I'd like to hear what they have to say.
okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we table items 5I and J.
Look for a second.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on down the line, that's going to take us to agenda item 5K. Let's talk to our New Mexico 4x4 rally people.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Marissa Good. I think I know just about everybody in this room. How are you? Good. This is Garrett LeMay. He's the brain behind this project, and I'm here to help.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Oh, looking good, Garrett.
So he's just handed you our original flyers that were printed with very minimal information because we were just trying to get stuff going. So since those were printed, we've actually added four or five new sponsors. New flyers will be printed pretty soon. But we've also included a sheet on how we're gonna track admission. We're gonna do those at the door, and we're also gonna have some iPads that people can do digitally. So then we'll compile everything at the end to make sure that we're tracking.
Will you guys also be adding the Village of Ruidoso logo?
So
to
we were
the
gonna
front?
ask about that and make sure that we could, as long as we get approved. We didn't wanna go and do it already and just assume that that was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
on-
think that's a great thing, right?
Yes, and on the same page that you filled out the application is the downloadable logo
Okay.
and the instructions.
Cool, okay,
Okay.
good. Thank you for that. And so, I don't know, do you wanna go ahead and kinda tell them?
Yeah,
So
we
it's
need to
our,
know.
Our first annual event, it's gonna be a 3-day event. We're gonna have a poker run, we're gonna do a car show, also a vendor show at the convention center. you know, pretty much just trying to bring a lot of out-of-town people, you know, Jeeps, off-road vehicles, just to come enjoy our beautiful mountain town.
We're pretty excited that it's an event that nobody's done here, not in my
Yeah,
timeline
it's
of-
pretty new. We've tried to look it up, and we haven't found anything actually in New Mexico that's done a rally like this. So we're hoping that it grows and grows. You know, of course, this is our first year, so we don't have a lot of,
We don't have a lot of numbers for you,
yeah.
Everett.
But we're hoping, you know, eventually to grow and be, you know, over time as big as the Balloon Fiesta. That's our goal at least.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to, you know, double our numbers every year. I've been in contact with clubs in Colorado and Utah, Arizona, a couple in Texas, but, you know, we're trying to just outreach right now.
Sure.
And grow our numbers for the first year event and then
Have you guys shot any video? I guess I have so many questions for you
I
guys.
know,
'cause
I'm like, they're gonna
haven't asked
just feed
any
us
of
with
these
questions, I
things
know it. We don't have any video content yet, is that what you're going for?
Well, I was gonna kind of ask, like, on your poker runs, are you guys actually gonna use some of the trail systems that we have and make your poker runs actual off-road runs? So like
they are
using
gonna be
Forest Road
off-road
120,
runs.
120A, stuff like that?
Yes.
So we're also gonna work with the Forest Service and make sure that everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing, where they're supposed to be going, what's allowed, what's not allowed, what they need to do. There's a QR code on that flyer. It takes you to our website. There's already a link on there that takes you to the rules and regs for OHV, because last thing we want is a bunch of pissed off locals.
Yes, of course, yeah.
It's such a cool sport that it's like, let's not ruin this. We need to figure out how to make it work for everybody, but we need to do it the right way. So we also know that our trail systems can be overwhelmed easily, so we want to take time and spread it out to, you know, our vendor event that's going to go on, the car show. It's the same weekend as Oktoberfest. I wish they would have been here. So we're kind of going to partner with them and try to cross-promote, like Brudoso and the tattoo thing. So we're working with them on that too.
Kind of add that to your flyer, cross-promote, get people involved with both
Well, and
events.
it's like, we talked about doing music, but then we're like, why are we gonna kind of step on their toes when that's their deal that weekend? So we're not gonna do, if we do anything, it'll be very small during
I
the
think
day.
you guys are gonna be pretty busy with
I think
all
so
the other
too.
things
You know,
that you
as
have
much as
going
we
on.
grow, hopefully we can help them grow as well with the
Yeah.
Oktoberfest.
Different classes? You guys gonna have like an OHV class, Jeep
So we're
class,
doing
truck
Jeeps,
class,
yeah,
fogger
everything.
class, stuff
Everything's
like that?
welcome. And again, that's a whole special little niche. Those people that have rigs like that, they're not cheap and they've got money to blow. So we want them here and we want them doing that in our community.
Yeah.
And we're hoping during the car show, you know, we're gonna have different, you know, like a Jeep contest, like, you know, even like an off-road truck contest, you know, like any, like side-by-sides, because next year we're planning on having a calendar, and actually whoever wins in that category will be featured on, you know, like January and March, and, you know.
Oh, neat.
That's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff we're thinking of, so we're trying to narrow it down to like, hey,
Make
we
sure
need
you don't
to-
overlook those rock bouncer classes, man.
Rock
You know,
bouncer?
Yeah, they're
Like rock
probably
crawler?
like, they're probably like $200,000 rigs. No, they're basically like a giant roll cage with a huge engine in them, and they just
Yeah, I don't
bounce
know.
off of things until they get up to the top of wherever it is that they're going.
Do we want them bouncing off things?
I would like to watch it. Yeah. So,
It's such a cool event because like it is a first year event and sky's the limit, you know, we've looked at so many cool ideas, so.
Yeah.
You know, any feedback or anything you guys think that we might be missing out on or not targeting like we need to, please let us know, cause we can do whatever.
so you have a queen of the trail competition? Is there no king of the trail?
So,
That one we're still working out.
we're
the
working
details
out that
on.
because I'm very like, I don't know, so stay
I've
tuned
just
for
never
more
heard-
information on that.
We don't know what it is, we know
I
that's
kinda
what it's
think
called.
it needs to be like an ability thing, like
Like a competition.
how fast can you change this tire on your rig?
And, you know.
Oh, like a skills competition, like
Exactly.
Their actual vehicle, you know, like.
Yeah.
You know, if they bring in, you know, like a souped up like pink Jeep, you know, something like that to actually, it's more of that than necessarily like, I don't know, like a beauty pageant or something.
Because I thought it would be a beauty pageant. Like, I thought it would be
They-
like, who has the prettiest Jeep that you're never gonna take off-road? That's,
We could do a mall crawler one for sure.
yeah, the mall crawlers, okay, cool.
We're working on that.
We're hoping to also to make, you know, like a little commercial to put on, you know, the website.
Yeah, we will be
even
doing
just-
some video stuff.
yeah.
We just
Lot
haven't.
of
Yeah,
video.
make some content for sure. Have
We do
you-
wanna, we're working on some partnerships with local hotels and everything to make sure that they're either offering discounts or just putting their names out there so we can.
The Midtown Cruise, have you guys contacted our wonderful police department and
Not yet.
DOT or anything like that to make sure that we can get the,
We're not trying
Proper
to
stuff for
close
the
the
roads.
road. So
Right.
we kinda wanna just work with the village and see what we are able to do without having to jump through all those hoops.
Okay.
In the future, if we find that people are wanting to do more of a parade, then certainly we can work with DOT to close the road. I've helped with that.
We're kind of
Okay,
just
yeah,
testing the
yeah, yeah.
water right now, just to see, you know, what the turnout will be for
Yeah.
this year.
We've-
And then hopefully,
We had one cool thing that came up, I think when we were talking to the, downshift people. Was it downshift or maybe someone else? Where, you know, we kind of try to save all the parking in Midtown for the Jeeps and for the 4x4 people. So, because, you know, when you drive through and it's full of those kind of rigs, it'll be a really cool experience, a good photo op for future events, that kind of thing, so.
Get some drone footage of all
Drone
those cool
footage,
Jeeps.
And that, I mean, that's just parking, so it's definitely something we need to talk to the village on, but I don't
Maybe
think it'd
like
be
a
too much.
4x4 rally pass parking only type
Exactly.
situation.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be too much of a nightmare logistically, and it wouldn't affect our Midtown people too much.
And then your 4x4 show will be at the convention
That's at the
center?
convention center, yep. So
the
inside the
vendor show
convention
and the
center.
car show are
Yeah.
both there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 4x4 vendor, like Rancho Shocks, Skyjacker, guys like that, getting
Yeah.
some traction
Everything will be
there.
outdoor related. We're trying to focus everything onto, obviously, the 4x4 side of things. But anything that's in there needs to be outdoor related and cool.
Do you have vendors committed?
Committed yet? Yes, we do. We have a few.
And is it really just all kind of truck part, speed,
Yep.
accessory type
Accessories,
vendors,
everything, yep.
all of it?
Well, there'll also be like kind of, I mean, we're also looking at maybe like outdoor, like camping stuff, you know, like just outdoor related, not necessarily just focused on the vehicle itself, but also for, you know, to have fun after you're done driving.
How many booths?
So we have 100 booths available. We have, I think we're at 95 right now that are already pre-sold. We have a list of others that are interested in becoming. We're waiting to see how many more vendors come in so that way we can,
Commit.
So I assume most of these vendors will be out of Ruidoso
We're
vendors.
bringing in a lot of people from out of
Correct.
town. We only have
That's
so
awesome.
many vendors here that
Correct.
would make sense.
Right.
And we're, you know, we'll take applications, and the thought process is to take apps until about mid-July. Then we're really gonna review them and see what makes sense. Then we'll get back to people and ask for their booth fee and stuff like that. But right now, it's just like, send everybody you know.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, is this the same weekend as the bike rally?
it's the weekend after.
After, yeah. No, we're not that crazy. We were like bikers and we're, no, we wanted to pick one of the shoulder weekends, I guess you could say, that not too much is going on in town.
Right.
Then we can actually build it. We're
That's-
not
I
trying
wanted to make a
compete.
note of your dates. I really like anybody doing things after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Fall season's great to build on, so these
Yeah.
coming in with that are awesome.
Yeah,
It's
and,
still beautiful here.
Yeah.
well, and
The
that's
weather's
such a
great.
cool thing is because if it rains, who cares? It's gonna be muddy. Fun,
Yeah. It adds to
Mud
it.
bog.
yeah, so.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of agenda item 5K as presented.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you guys.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
We're very excited for you.
We'll be in touch with more info soon.
Yeah.
And Carrie, I have a million questions for you.
Make something beautiful, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right. We tabled that one, so we are gonna move on to, okay, so I guess I have to recuse myself here, guys. I'll go on the other side of the table real quick.
We want numbers.
You want real numbers this time?
He's about to get hammered.
So I guess, am I running this thing?
Yeah, you get to run it now.
Yeah.
State your name for the record.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Everett, and I am the tournament director and host of the Lincoln County War Disc Golf Tournament, which is the largest running disc golf tournament in the state of New Mexico currently. We had some great participation this last year. We had 160 actual participants in the event. And then we had around 240 participants for the players party, vendor village, stuff like that. We had food trucks. We used the Ruidoso Convention Center. Of course, we had some beers and some games, and we surprisingly drew in a lot of people that just saw some ads on Facebook and they wondered what the heck we were doing, and they ended up just having a super good time, and I expect to see them back. As far as the outreach, every year we just keep getting more and more traction with the event. It's growing constantly. The players love it. The players' packs were great. We didn't really have any hiccups. We didn't have any major issues. As far as advertising and promotion for this upcoming year, I will be advertising several months in advance this year. So typically with disc golf tournaments, we launch the registration 30 to 45 days prior to the event. This year, I think I would like to be somewhere around 200 to 250 days prior to the event. And I will be advertising using, obviously subjective Facebook marketing, stuff like that, Instagram marketing. The TikTok platform has been great. I have a wonderful following on there now, and I get tons of traction on that. There's only so many disc golf players in New Mexico. So I will be reaching out to a lot of the other surrounding states, as well as using my connections through Dynamic Discs. I've created a great partnership this year with Dynamic Discs Phoenix, as well as Music City. And I think that we're really going to get some good camaraderie there, and as well as the Dynamic Disc Carlton guys. So we're actually planning on doing a multi-company brand promotion for all of the events, kind of like a little southern chain of like, hey, come to our series of events. And so we will be linking up with Dynamic Disc Phoenix, and we will be creating a Southwest circuit of tournaments. So Lincoln County War will be added into that, as well as the OSO Open. But I would love to entertain any or all of the questions, guys.
Everett, a couple questions for you. So there's only a certain amount of capacity you can handle, right, in this particular event, but what you're talking about is some leverage for some additional events and additional things coming. Is there a way to incorporate maybe those numbers into this request next time, or as we look at it? Because to me, it's, just looking at the numbers here, you're like, it's kind of hard to get there, but if you have 6 events a year, or even 3 or 4.
Right. And I would really actually kind of like that for the future as well, because I will be creating a series of tournaments that are hosted here. We are actually launching our unsanctioned summer series this upcoming Wednesday. So we'll be running 3 events every single week throughout the duration of the rest of the summer here locally, as well as these larger PDGA sanctioned events. And we will be hosting a sanctioned C-tier. They call them flex starts. It's pretty low. It's pretty low impact on the tournament director side, but it gives these players a chance to get rated round. So we'll be hosting one of those every single month for the rest of the summer. And I would love to compile something like, hey, this is our series. This is what we're doing. Obviously, we're going to be using Disc Golf Scene and all of these other registration type platforms for disc golfers. So we will have actual numbers of every single event every single year.
Yeah, I could see an application in the future being for dynamic discs, but for multiple events, yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I got, guys.
What about the date? I guess I don't know much about disc
Well,
golf, but
so
I mean,
there's so many things
I
happening
guess
in
my
the disc
question
golf
is, weather doesn't impact you. I mean, they're going to throw a disc if it's snowing in March, right? Or
Thank
if the
goodness
winds
the
are.
weather was actually really great this year. There was only a few hours of kind of inclement weather for the players this year. Like all professional level disc golfers, though, they're super emotional little creatures. And so the second the wind starts blowing a little bit, everyone's upset and, oh my God, this course is terrible. But then they thank you afterwards for what a great event. The Disc Golf Pro Tour is actually adding 3 more Pro Tour stop events this year. I have 2 applications into the Disc Golf Pro Tour currently to obtain a Pro Tour event here in Ruidoso. They will be changing the dates that the Pro Tour starts this year. So typically it starts in Las Vegas, Nevada, and then it kind of moves its way through Arizona. They skip right over New Mexico and head right to Texas. So I really am shooting for that sweet spot of in between Arizona and Texas. I don't know what the date will physically be this year, but I will be sure to keep everyone posted, and just know that I am diligently working on making sure that I am in that slot every year. Regardless of the weather, we'll adapt and overcome. I mean, obviously, if we can do it outside and everyone can hang out and the weather's beautiful, that's what we want. But if I got to cram everyone in the convention center again and feed them full of beers and Philly cheesesteaks. We're gonna do it. So,
Any more questions? Entertain a motion?
Mr. Substitute Chairman, I move that we approve the War 4 funding for the disc golf, number 5N.
I have a motion
I second that.
and a second. Any further discussion?
No.
If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Please let the record reflect that Chairman Brophy abstained.
thank you, everybody.
Motion passes.
All right, back on track now. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the support as usual. We're going to keep growing. Let's move on to agenda item 5O. Let's talk to the Aim High Sports Clay Shoot. Which I'm very excited about this, just so y'all know. I think this is really cool. Good morning.
You know what? I've been adding these numbers up, and I think we are out of money, unfortunately.
I heard the numbers at the beginning. Go on that one. Good morning, I'm Rochelle Linsky. I'm the new Foundation Director for NMU Ruidoso Foundation. I brought my subject matter expert, Rhonda Vincent, along to talk about our proposal. I've been on the job for 60 days, so I brought my reinforcements for when you.
Keep you in line, huh?
Well, you know, it kind of serves both purposes. So if you'd like to take a moment to review our proposal, we are,
You guys have been doing this for several years now, right? Yeah,
this is the
like
7th year.
7th year for these kids.
And
And if I'm not mistaken, we have a couple of young kids around here that are quite the shooters, huh?
Yes, they are. We have Sierra Blanca shooters that have grown to probably over 60 team members right now. So that's huge.
And these are like under 18 kids, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're very, very good. Matter of fact, we have two shooters that shoot with us. One is our very Hayden Casson, who is going to be going to San Angelo in Texas for college, and he's going on a shooting sports scholarship. And he shot I believe, don't quote me, 97 out of 100 last year at my shoot. He won the gun. So, and he was 17 years old. So, very good. And we also have Dylan Lopez, who is out of Carlsbad, who shoots with us every year. He too is going to Oklahoma on a shooting sports scholarship. So,
How
very proud of
neat.
these kids, very proud of them.
And you have like 60 of these guys and gals? Guys and gals, correct?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Guys and gals?
Oh, yes,
Oh, yeah, all the above.
all the above.
Okay.
And I'd like to point out that Ms. Vincent's leadership has grown this shoot so much to the point that several years ago, she was no longer able to run it on her own and has had to create a committee to help pull this event together. We had over 300 shooters in '22, and we don't know what we're expecting yet this year. We're not there yet, but the numbers are looking like that we're going to be increasing yet again in our attendance. And one of the things that I think is spectacular about her leadership is that the steering committee is now comprised of members from outside of New Mexico who enjoyed the shoot so much that they wanted to be a part of it and now serve on the committee to develop it moving forward in Texas and Oklahoma. So it continues to grow, continues to provide there isn't anywhere that we know of in the close region where you can have a shoot like this in this kind of an atmosphere. It's not flat, it's not plain, it's beautiful. When the families come, I was able to work the shoot with Rhonda last year and was really kind of surprised at the number of family members, family teams that came and shot. And so when they weren't shooting, they were shopping, and we like that. So,
And we like,
as you know, we are a nonprofit, and all of the proceeds that we make from this shoot funds the programs for ENMU for students of all ages throughout the community, our community programs, funds scholarships to help the school do whatever they need. So it benefits the community in many ways.
what was your numbers last year?
We had over 313 shooters overall for both days, And what is most impressive for me to say is this should be our 8th year. We had to skip a year because of COVID. So out of 7 years, the very first year we started this, I mean, our numbers were maybe 50 shooters. We netted $10,000. Last year, we netted over $60,000. So I think what's a benefit for us is the numbers are growing as far as shooters go, but what we're making as profit that benefits in long term for our community is even more important. So we've raised over $216,000 in this, just the 6 years we have done this event. So it is amazing.
Mr. Chairman, this is funny, I've never even heard of this event.
Well, you'll notice you have a flyer, Mr. Duncan.
I got lots of guns. I should know about this event, right? But
Know about this event.
We would love to have you come shoot with us.
so it sounds like the first 6 years, you kind of ran it individually,
I did. As the foundation director, I depended on volunteers to help me. I hired a producer to bring in trap machines and targets and things like that. I just had to negotiate that over the last 6 years because we do not have that type of facility here in Lincoln County that can house this kind of thing. I did reach out to the Intermountain Gods because they actually do have a sporting clay course. They're the only facility that house that here. And so we did move our shoot to Lincoln 2 years ago because of a fire. And so we had it out there. It was really hard to navigate because, we were traveling back and forth. We have grown. In the beginning, we were only 1 day for a couple of years, and I saw the potential growth. And so we went to a 2-day. We have a banquet. Huge turnout for that. We had over 450 people at our banquet that Saturday night at the Intermountain Gods.
I guess that's kind of where I'm going with this. What is your capacity? Or do you even know what your capacity is?
No, and I don't really want to think that, or it's going to scare me half to death.
Yeah.
Because, no, I'm just kidding. You have 12 stations, and you can actually stack your team, so you could have capacity of 600 to 800 shooters easily in the 2 days.
So is that moving forward, year over year, do you have an end game, a goal you'd like to
Run out of
reach?
space, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's exciting stuff, for sure, and you're obviously very passionate about it, but I just kind of wonder, is that your goal now that you've formed a committee, right? I heard that correctly? So obviously, you must be thinking about growth year over year.
Absolutely, there's no limit. I would hope that over the next, several years, that it just continues to grow, and that the benefits that are long-term for our community and
Sure,
ENME Ruidoso
absolutely.
and the students. We are actually, I don't know if you have heard, but through the legislature, we're going to be creating sports, athletics at ENME Ruidoso now. So I really wanted a shooting sports team, but that didn't happen this year, but hopefully it will. It could go a long ways, to these kids and teaching our youth. It is a hobby, but it is a very structured event, and you would be very, very impressed at the youth in our community and all over the state, Texas, everywhere, that this was just a growing event. And so that was the reason we started. Before I even began this, just very briefly, don't you put your 5 minutes up yet, Mary? Do it. Before we started our event, I had no idea. I was hired as the foundation director over 13 years ago, and they said, hey, how are you going to raise money? And I'm like, I was a stay-at-home mom. I did bake sales. I don't know what to do to raise money. And so I was a shooting sports activist as well, and so I was doing that. Matter of fact, Ms. Gladden came with me as a professional photographer one year. We went to Tucson and looked at other shoots of how to create such an event. We live in the most beautiful part of New Mexico, in my opinion. Why would you not want to come here in June when it's 120 in Artesia or, in Midland? Come up here and do this. And so just to say, these are people who are day shooters who just like it for the hobby, who want to come support ENME Ruidoso. And you also have people who shoot, $40,000 guns. And so they come up here that they truly believe in what we're doing. They believe in what the money is going for. And so I really always want to target that of what we are actually doing for our community. We were actually able to demo out our demo kitchen that was new at the college. We're a tourism place. So we want to teach that, breweries, things like that. And so the foundation, out of these funds, we were able to outfit that demo kitchen because we're doing these types of things. So I think the outcomes really are really great of what this money is being raised for. So
I'd also like to add, Mr. Brophy, you mentioned the youth aspect of this sport, but I watched
we had shooters last year from 16 to 80 plus.
Cool.
We had one gentleman, and I don't even know how old he was, but he had lots of help getting to and from the stand, but he made it and shot and had a great time. So
Cool.
it's an opportunity for across all age groups and levels. You don't have to be an expert to participate. So.
I love that. So if I want to go get beat by some 12-year-olds, though, there's an opportunity? Okay.
We'll get you fixed up, no problem. Come on out. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I want to note that this request of, what is it, 8,500? Is above our normal $5,000, but just has been stated, about the deep-reaching tentacles of this program and the multiple benefit our community gets and our local community college and so on and so forth. With all that taken into account, I move that we approve item 5.0.
I second that.
I'm in. Let's go. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much.
Well done.
I hope to see you out there.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I tried
Mr.
once.
Cheney has done it before.
I don't have a $40,000 shotgun, but
Well,
I'll come
we
slang
don't
some.
need $40,000
Yeah.
shotgun.
Thank you, my friend.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
You know what,
Thank you for all your hard work.
between me and that kid that shot 97, we got 100.
Thank you, ma'am.
We stand a chance.
It's kind of like with golf, regular golf, you pick your scramble team.
There you go.
Not everybody has to be great.
I did, and I can't find a
Thank you
team.
very much.
Yeah, right. All right, guys, let's move on to agenda item number 6. Do we have anything left to discuss today?
We need to discuss the date of the special meeting.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's all good. Let's,
Hey,
everyone, what's your
I
count?
did help trim the agenda down today.
Yeah, you did.
No, you just diverted it.
True.
Now we added an extra day. We need 3 days advance notice for the public, right? For when we have one of these meetings.
Yes, it's 10 o'clock right now, so it'd have to be after, like, if you did it in 3 days, it'd have to be after 10.
When is our next regularly scheduled meeting? Is it a few months away? Do we know, does anybody know?
Do we meet every month?
Every other.
No, it's like quarterly, isn't it?
Quarterly,
Yeah.
every other bi-monthly.
Yeah, July 25th is our next scheduled meeting.
Okay.
I mean, or
Which is
any of
kinda
those
far out,
events.
so.
Yeah, it's a little far out, huh?
Yeah, with these, we want to get this done fairly quickly, I would think.
But I would like those people to come
Absolutely.
and tell us about their events and stuff and make a presentation like everyone else did.
Agreed.
Are any of those events before mid-June?
I mean, y'all got me, I could do next week or
The art festival is the only one that would fall kind of close. Vines in the Pines isn't until February. The Ruidoso Art Festival, which is the third weekend in July.
I could do next week or 3 weeks after that.
Next week is what?
It would be Memorial Day, the 29th through June 2nd.
Yeah, like the 29th or the 30th is good with me.
I leave the 1st, so I'm here the 29th or 30th.
Yeah, I'm toast on those days.
Yeah,
Later in the week, though, works.
31st, 1st or 2nd. I mean, I think we only have a few items, right? Like, if we did it in the middle of the week, everyone should be able to make it.
I leave Thursday. I'm in Dallas Thursday through that next week.
How's everyone's Wednesday of next week look, the 31st?
Nicole, do you know if we have any meetings on the 31st in here?
I don't believe so. I'll confirm that when I get back there and check the meeting calendar.
Mike, can you make the 31st happen?
So,
31st? And what time would you all like, 8:30?
sure.
Yeah, I'm okay with the morning.
So May 31st at 8:30?
That should give us enough time to get a notice out to those peoples, right?
And if any of you all need to appear by Zoom, just let me know. That won't be a problem.
Okay.
Have everything a little bit more organized, I apologize.
And Mr. Chairman, just so you know where we stand at the end of today, of the $120,000 budget that we have allotted, we awarded $45,500 today.
Okay. So we still have a little bit of operating. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Cool. And this is too low for Jimmy. Remember, because he didn't show up he came on Zoom, that was it last
Yeah.
time.
I know. Because, I mean, we're volunteers and we're here.